And it's only at NostrDevs. This is taking inspiration from the bit devs and the lit devs that they do over at Commons. But this one's about Nostr. So anyone can speak up if you have an opinion about one of the things we're going to be covering. We're going to go over some news, maybe do some demos, software stuff, and at any time you can tag me out. If you get bored with what I'm doing, anyone can at any time just raise their hand and be like, tag him out, and then Captain Stacks comes up and he takes over for me. And you can just keep going back and forth like that. So never get bored. You always can just switch who's presenting. First thing on my list to present is the PlebLab course. So No BS Bitcoin has a little article about the course we launched this month. We launched it on July 20th. A Nostr developer course so that people who want to learn how to develop on Nostr can do it. Now that's perfect for NostrDevs. This is like a course for how to do it. And we want to show you this little video we made starring our good friend, Logan Troy. Sorry, well, yeah, but...
Hi, it's Bits with the Nostr Dev course, and you're going to be in a great mood all day because you're going to be zapping your troubles away by learning Nostr. Now watch this. We got a blank page, one slap, we got a JSON object. 2 slaps, content, in a second. And we add a signature. Beautiful. Now, you love Twitter, you hate the feed. Watch. No feed. It's gone. Is that guy on Facebook? What are you working on? That project's boring. Stop having a boring project. Stop having a boring life. We're going to make the next social media. 5 seconds. 4 or 5 seconds, it's done. You're going to have an exciting life now. You're going to love my nips. And if you don't love my nips are just numbers. You can make your own. You see this nip? Now it's my nip. You can make your own. Come on, we'll show you. You know what they're charging for verification these days? $8. Watch this. I made my own blue check mark. Plus, we got badges. You can make one for nothing. Stop throwing your money away. Onions. I'm tearing up here. You know the Onion Network? Super slow. It's making you cry. It's making me cry. Life's hard enough as it is. But check this out. Global feed. Everyone sees your app now. You don't need Tor. Guys, we're going to make social media great again, one zap at a time.
I don't even have internet, and I'm still going to make the next big AI app. Nostr's the best.
Hey, man. I've been on that Nostr for like 2 months, man. Hey, you got any more of them zaps?
Get your NostrDev course by visiting pleblab.com/NostrDevs. Save $20 when you pay with Bitcoin. Sign up in the next 15 minutes and you'll get the exact same thing as everyone else. Order now.
There we go. Good job, Logan. As Bits. So also, I want to mention that we also have this on our pleblab.com page. So if you go to pleblab.com, we have a new little button on the homepage called Courses, and that'll take you right to where you can purchase the course on Udemy. So be aware of that. And yeah, we can also go through our previous course, the PlebDev course. So yeah, there's educational content for Nostr developers. I encourage you all to take that if you want to learn more about developing on Nostr. Everyone ready to anyone have any comments, thoughts, Nostr dev course stuff? I did? Yeah, but that one's stupid.
It's great.
Okay.
It actually talks about the course.
It tells you what's in it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one, it's not funny. It's just me saying this is a great course and you should take it, which I just did that. So
You should also mention you have the first ever Nostr workshop on YouTube.
It's true.
That's
I
a
do.
great intro. If you don't want to take the whole course, you just want a little taste.
Yeah,
that's
if you
where
go
I
to
learned
my-
how to write Nostr apps was from your workshop.
If you go to my high-level Bitcoin, I guess I'll put this in the thing. I've got Build Your First Nostr App by Super Testnet, where I do a little workshop on Nostr workshop, where I do a little workshop to help you develop your first ever Nostr app, and that's free. It's actually from the course. It's one of the episodes. It's one of the lessons in the course, but it's for free, so you can check that out on my YouTube if you want. By the way, I should probably share all this stuff so you all can view it. So let me do that. I'm gonna go to Telegraph and create a page for this. We'll do NostrDevs number 6. Yep. NostrDevs number 6. And it'll be education. Okay, so I will publish this, and then I will share all the link with you all. Bit.ly, shorten it. So if you all want to see what we're going to go over today, feel free. Reject all. Yeah. Feel free to just go here. Oh, I don't want to sign up. Where's the regular shortener? Does Bit.ly make you sign up now?
You need to put in the back half. Oh, wait.
Bit.ly doesn't let you do short links anymore. That sucks. I'll go to tinyurl.com. But is Slugify still up? Slugify.link. It says it's optional. NostrDevs 6. So I can go slugify.link / NostrDevs 6. It doesn't work. Your service doesn't work.
Yeah, because of the dashes. You have to.
Okay, good. So if you all want to see that, if you want to see what we're going over today, just come to this link, and then you can follow along. So yeah, I will keep that up so you all can see that while we do the next part. Always on top. Okay, so that's there. And then
Anybody watching the stream should now be able to just click in the description.
oh, sweet. So if you're in the live stream, you can click there to see what we're going over. The next thing on our list after the Nostr PlebLab course and the Nostr workshop, are there any other comments on any of this stuff? We're good? Okay, cool. The next thing I wanted to go over is the new Nostr clients. 6 new Nostr clients have come out this month. And that's pretty cool. Like the Nostr's really, I think this is the most new clients we've seen in a month since Nostr started. So, yeah, let's just check this one out. Microblog. Microblog is a blogging service. And this is their blog, Microblog's blog. And their developer is announced that he supports Blue Sky as well as Nostr now. So whenever you create blogs on Microblog, you can cross-post to Nostr. So this is the website. If you want to try it out, you create a little blog. They look like this. You know, you can do pictures, sorts your dates and stuff, and you can just easily create a blog. But now he cross-posts to Nostr so that if they ever kill your account or whatever, you still have all your content. You've got your Nostr key pair, you've got your content, and they can't really do anything. So I hope we see more of this. I hope we see like centralized services adopting Nostr as a way to like protect their users in case your account ever gets destroyed. You still have all your content, you still have all your followers, and everything's just on Nostr as well. I hope more of that starts to happen. Any thoughts on Nostr blog stuff?
New, but they just added Nostr.
Yeah, Microblog is not new. They've been around for a long time, but now they've integrated Nostr to make themselves more censorship resistant.
That's cool.
It is cool.
And I'm glad to know it.
Me too. I'm also glad to know it. Any other thoughts on this? I don't know. I don't want to create an account, so I wish they certainly not on their homepage to like log in with Nostr. That's the next thing they need to add. Go at them and say, hey, enable logging in with Nostr.
It looks like it's a paid service. Do you know how much it costs?
I don't know. Let's just see. I'm sure they've got $5 a month for the basic. Looks like, yeah. So that's something. All right. So that's okay. So that's that. The next thing on our list is Zebedee Social, and I'm sure we're going to have some comments on this one, right, Captain? Zebedee is a company that makes video games, and they created something called Zebedee Social, which is their little social network for the users of their video game platform. But it supports Nostr now, and so they like have a little. Actually, this is just the homepage, and I don't know why it didn't go to the. Maybe you have to click this. I don't know. Apparently, there's a wait list or something. But they go into this blog post that talks about some of the unique features of how they use Nostr, and I thought it was interesting. The thing that I thought was coolest is they have a database of users, and they try to populate the users' database with information about what relays each user uses, and they try to get that what relays you use in a pretty interesting way. They will first of all check if you have an N profile, because N profiles have your relays in them. So that's kind of neat. They will query the network for kind 3 and kind 10,002 events. Both of those are places to store what relays you use. And event codes, they'll do that. And then they'll query a bunch of relays for your nodes. And if they find nodes, then they'll say he uses this relay too. So by doing this, they get for each user, an array of relays they use, and that's going to make it very robust for finding information or finding posts by each user. They can just say, okay, when I'm querying this user, look up what relays they use and get their events from those relays. And I really like that. That's inspired me. I want to do something like that in my applications, because I just kind of create a bunch of relays and then query them for my users' events, but sometimes my users don't use those relays. So just having like unique ones for like a unique mapping of this user uses these relays is a really good idea. But it's not all roses and blossoms. Captain Stacks, come on up here and tell us why Zebedee Social sucks. Okay.
My headline for the month is Primal Good, ZBD Bad. So what could possibly be wrong with ZBD? Well, the problem as I see it is that they're using both Bitcoin and Nostr in a custodial way. And this is already familiar in the world of Bitcoin and Lightning, especially with Lightning. It's very common, especially on Nostr, to use a custodial wallet because it's always online and you're always ready to receive funds that way. I think taking this custodial model and applying it to Nostr could be a slippery slope into Nostr becoming more centralized. I guess it really depends on how many people use services like this, but essentially ZBD holds your Nostr private key. And yeah, so I would argue that this is not even Nostr. So in my mind, Nostr is a system where your client signs events on its own and posts them to relays. Now, in this case, I haven't really dug into it, but what I have to assume is happening is that ZBD holds your private key, so they're signing events, and then they're allowing you to tell them what relays to use. Well, their server may be sending the signed event to your client to send directly to relays, but their server was still involved in the signing. That's not something you were able to do completely on your client side. So that's not really Nostr. I think you could actually compare it more to the Fediverse and say they've just spun up this new social network and it happens to be bridged to Nostr, but I don't even really want to consider it a Nostr client. But I guess it's just a matter of definition. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's kind of weird because like you have like Strike, also the same thing, Fold, Unchained Cap. You go down the list, like every Bitcoin company's custodial.
Well, I mean, some of the ones you mentioned, Unchained Capital doesn't do any. Unchained Capital is mostly non-custodial. I guess lending, maybe that's a form of custody.
Minus the Zeuses and the Muni's.
Strike and Cash App are both custodial.
Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like the
They're
same
really
thing.
popular.
Do they have do they offer account recovery?
ZBD.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it myself, but with their setup, it's definitely within the potential of what they can offer. Even if they're not now, that's something they can easily do tomorrow. So there is a trade-off, right? They can offer the, in exchange for you not having like sovereignty over your private key, they can offer the ability to recover, and so that's the trade-off.
Another.
This is more like a normie Nostr app.
Yeah, I like the mental model of seeing it as its own social network that's bridged to Nostr. Maybe that's not entirely accurate, but I think it does draw some distinctions.
Like what Microblog is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it might be a good gateway for people to kind of hop on Nostr and feel comfortable with someone kind of holding their keys before they make that full transition?
That's what I'm hoping. I think I don't want to knock them too hard because I think they're trying to solve a problem that a lot of Nostr apps are going to want to solve, and that's if you make an interesting app, maybe it has nothing to do with being the next Twitter replacement, and people like the app, and it also turns out to be a Nostr app, how can you make a smooth onboarding? Like if someone made an app just dedicated to books, and it was the best bookshelf app out there, and also happened to be a Nostr app.
Can I say something about this?
Sure.
I think this highlights part of the issue of the control of your profile on Nostr being this single key pair. Mm-hmm. Because if I create my brand, my Nostr profile on someone else's server, like yes, they can onboard me into eventually holding my own keys, but forever, my keys have been held in two hands, right? So it's kind of like undervaluing the idea that I even have a private key by starting it. It's not like I can keep that same identity that I bootstrapped on Zebedee's network. It's not like I can keep that identity and then have a different key pair right now and then generate a new key pair that recovers that identity, and that key pair is generated securely and held securely. It's kind of like if you start on someone else's server, you're forever a partially custodial key pair. And there's not very many onboarding pathways to like the sovereign key pair generation from zero,
I would like to respond to that. While that is a problem, I think it's not really that different from how anyone might have compromised their keys in any number of ways, right? There's so many websites, different clients people have entered them on, or maybe as a developer you were experimenting with having your key on a cloud server somewhere. So, I mean, I don't think this custodial setup is special in that sense. It's just another way your key might be compromised.
Yeah. So something that I also thought too is that from more of like a B2C to like an individual basis, I can understand what Austin's saying is where you want the individual to be able to control their own keys, but as far as more of like a B2B kind of thing, it seems like this would be almost like a carrot on the stick for businesses that try to hop on to potentially this coming in, and they're just more money and more levels.
I think a business is going to be less likely to want to use a service like that. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the question, but I think the business themselves are going to want to hold their private key, not have any other business involved in the custody of their own private key.
I disagree. It's
Really?
like what we were talking about earlier. Like if I want to onboard my company, where we're going to onboard and we're going to have 3 or 4 different people on the growth team that are posting to Nostr every day, how am I going to securely generate a key pair for all of them to share, right? There needs to be either some custodian or some, master public-private key pair.
Delegation standard.
Yeah, delegation standard, exactly.
That's
like,
what I was going for, exactly
Yeah.
what Austin said.
So do you think it's more likely that in that scenario, a business would rather offboard some of that responsibility to a larger, well-known custodian?
I mean, even at the company I am at, although it would be very fun to have everything stuff that we do basically in-house.
Mm-hmm.
The issue comes is just like Austin said, how do you have multiple people access, or how do you? The custodial basically makes it a bit of an easier way, because again, keep in mind this, not every company wants to just fully hop onto self-custody. A lot of businesses are still run by basically dinosaurs, so something that's somewhat familiar to them is going to get them on board a bit quicker, or at least get them kind of hopping a bit quicker. Now newer ones might be completely against that, but as far as like older ones or bigger ones, that's That's
I would
correct.
just assume that the company itself should have its own resources. Why would going somewhere else be better?
I want to be the voice of Nick. Nostr sucks. But so like Web's already solved this problem with JSON web tokens, and so you can have a signing server that you can custody if you want, and you can issue tokens that have their own restrictions on it, including a time limit or a use limit. And the problem with Nostr is it just hasn't really developed the protocol to the point where it includes those kinds of cryptographic agreements. It's kind of doing it with delegations, but it's not fully there yet. And also,
hardly anyone uses it.
Well, yeah, delegations has support for some very basic restrictions like what event kinds you delegate and a time frame, but it never got any momentum and there's really no support among clients, so it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
See what I'm going to present later.
Oh yeah? All right.
also, a lot of companies don't have a problem with having other companies custody their secrets.
Okay.
So there's already like companies will often hire another company or use another service to either store their environment variables or to have some sort of secure enclave where their secrets are stored.
Yeah.
I mean, Docker has this integrated, and you whatever hosting provider you use, they're going to have access to your secrets, and you're trusting them to manage those secrets for you, because you don't want to be the expert in the room that has to be responsible for handling that. So it's easier just to.
I guess this is a reality that it's just I don't really like to accept it, but I have to. Because I would like to think that Nostr maybe is the start of something where more people and businesses do care about self-custody and self-hosting of these secrets. But yeah.
I think in the future that will definitely be the case, but just with kind of where a lot of these larger dinosaur companies are, it seems like it will take a bit of time for that to get that point. So, because I'm assuming, at least I'm assuming enough, the hopeful thought that, like you said, newer companies will be more careful and a lot more concerned about self-custody, especially when it comes down to all of the benefits that Nostr does provide with relays and everything else.
Nice.
Tagging you out.
All right.
So we front ran the controversial topic, and one last thing I want to mention about this. It's interesting to me that Fiat Jeff works. He works for Zebedee, and he's also the inventor of Nostr. So maybe this is where he wants it to go. But since it's controversial, I think that helps prove that Fiat Jeff doesn't control where Nostr goes. I imagine something like that. So I do want to mention a positive thing after the controversial thing. Everyone will be happy to hear that Primal, which is possibly the coolest Nostr client, or the one that's like most what's the phrase, mainstream friendly, maybe. This one has become more decentralized. They finally did it. So if you go into Primal now and you go to settings and then the network tab, you can choose what relays you're using. You can be like, I want to use this guy, and I want to use that guy, and this guy, and then your relays go up here, and then you can add and remove them and manage them. And this is awesome. This is what Nostr's all about. You control where your content goes, right? That's the thing. That's the thing. So, yeah, the fact that Primal added this puts them on my good list finally, and I think Primal is something I can recommend to everybody now as a client. So, yeah, check that out. If you want to see that Primal is good now, go to their website and go to the network tab. So, good job, Primal. Yay. There's a bunch of new clients, by the way. So we're not through with all of them, but we went through Microblog and Zebedee Social. There's also one called Amber, which is technically not a client, but I put it on the list anyway. So Amber is a Nostr event signer. Sometimes these are called remote signers. Perhaps you don't want to put your private key, your Nostr private key, in every single app that you're using on your phone or on your computer or whatever. Perhaps you don't want to put your private key in all these things. So they created a device where you put your private key in this one application called the Nostr Event Signer, and then other applications can hook into it and say, here's an event, can you sign this? And that way that application doesn't need to know your private key. They can just communicate with this one app. So that's cool. We've had this for a while on the web with Albi, and now there's an Android app that does a similar thing. So, any comments or questions about remote signing and what that coolness of that, or the? This is the question is this like NSEC bunker, which is another one, and yes, it is. This is another one. So there's options.
Do they support signing via Nostr? As in you send an event to the signer.
I don't know.
Something else.
Instructions on how to add support for in your Amber and the README. Let's go check the README, because the README would tell us how it works.
It might just be like a local API that's exposed inside the device.
Adding Amber to your application. It says you have to create a Nostr event, convert the event to JSON, which is about right. And then, yeah, it actually sends the event to your node, it looks like, which is cool. Through intents. So fascinating. Check out that for more information. So there are a couple different models for exposing, for doing remote signing, and one of them that is pretty popular right now is to have something like Albi that creates an API and injects it into a web page that web pages can hook into to say, here's an event, will you sign this? And that's what it looks like this one is doing for mobile. They're using Android intents to expose an API. However, there is another way to do it, which is through Nostr itself. You can actually DM a proposed event to the remote signer, and when you DM it, then you can say, please sign this, and then give me back the signed version. And to me, it looks like that's not what they're doing, but since they are sending the JSON to you, it would be really easy for them to integrate support for the DM method of remote signing. Stacker?
Send over encrypted DM when presumably it's a public event, but maybe it's to handle those.
Just so that you wouldn't have to be over an encrypted DM, but just there's no reason for anyone to really see that you're just passing events back and forth. You could do it publicly. There's nothing private in the event itself.
Well, I guess it handles the case of, perhaps most events are public and will be broadcast immediately, but maybe it handles things like events that will be broadcast later, or maybe other DMs. Maybe you're sending a DM telling it to send a DM or to sign a DM.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to expose your DMs just to get a signature, so you could encrypt your DMs, send your DM for signing, and then get it back. It's interesting. Yeah, okay, so those are a couple different models, and Amber supports the Android intents method. So that's cool. And hey, get on the stick, guys. If Amber's listening to this, add support for the Nostr DM method, where you DM the unsigned event to the remote signer over Nostr, and then it replies with the signature, or with the signed version or the signature. It's good stuff. The next thing on here is Zapstream. Zapstream feels like it's more than a month old at this point, but it was on the list. Someone mentioned that it's new. Maybe it's just new to that person. But Zapstream is...
There's the stream.
There's our stream. Look at that. We're on there. And we got a viewer. Hi, viewer. Zapstream is this website where you can plug in live streams and then do them over Nostr, and people can zap your live stream and give you sats and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. And so if you want to check that out, there's all sorts of content on here that you can check. We might get an infinite loop here. I'm going to mute this. And then I'll have to...
So, where are you streaming to?
He set it up. Where are we streaming to, Carl? No, Logan did set it up.
You're the one who set it up. I streamed through Restream to some RTMP server somewhere.
Infinite loop. Okay, so that's Zapstream. That's Zapstream. Check it out if you want to do live streams in a more censorship-resistant way. You can do it on there. Next client to go over is Stemster. Stemster is music on Nostr, and you can create, connect, and collaborate on music. So that's pretty neat. They got some screenshots on here that looks like a nice little music player, and then you can comment and you can spend sats zapping songs that you'd like. What a great idea. and you can just go to the website right here and try it out and see if you like any of the music that's playing. That's kind of neat. I've seen a couple of these. There was one last month, like Wave Lake looks pretty similar to this. But you know, more options is good. I like that kind of stuff. Let's hear what song is playing right now.
Nostr Cypher. It's Jack, motherfuckers. And one of you.
Somebody's song. I'm not zapping that one. Potty mouth. Wave Lake.
Oh, Wave Lake? Yeah.
But there's like a mainstream version and then a Nostr version.
The
Is
Nostr version's Wave Man.
Wave Man? Yeah.
I don't know what the TLD is though. There it is.
Waveman.app is like another version of this, where you can log in with Nostr, play songs, click play.
So wait, Stemster, Wave Lake are the same thing?
They're just kind of similar. That's all. They're not related projects. They're just both doing.
I guess it's the only
Yeah.
Nostr thing they have.
This is Wave Man, not Wave Lake. Sorry, I messed up the name because they're similar. It's not playing for me on here, so I don't know why. But the other one's got at least that it played for me, so that's nice.
They need cursor pointer.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Maybe I think you're supposed to run this on mobile, and then.
Oh.
Hey, pay attention on how I break this Bitcoin slang down.
So yeah, we got a couple different
Bitcoin is
music
a
clients for
blockchain
Nostr.
technology.
And I'm not going to log in and do anything with it. You could do the same thing, like tap, private key is your address, comment and stuff like that. So Waveman and Stemster are both doing that. Check those out. And then the next one to go over is Swarmster, Nostr Knowledge Hub for Curious Minds. This one sounds frickin' elitist. A simple question and answer web client built on top of Nostr, designed to empower users with knowledge and foster a vibrant community of learning. Well, who doesn't like learning? If you're not a fan of learning, you're just an NPC. So, yeah, that's kind of neat. And they got a little website where you can try it out. And you guys want to ask it a question? Yeah, let's do it. We'll ask it, who is Super Testnet? Why not? So, search. Who is Super Testnet? No results. There you go. I win. I win the internet. But yeah, I assume there's. What is Nostr? Then we get lots of stuff from that.
Oh gosh, I'm getting triggered. When
Well,
I get triggered,
how come?
these responses. What?
What is it showing there?
Just people who've just talked about it, I guess. I don't know where they're posting. It's probably just pulling in events from Nostr that have talked about what Nostr
Are they
is.
just doing keyword searches?
They might only look at the Ask Nostr hashtag.
Oh, I see. Yeah, all of these events have the Ask Nostr hashtag on them. And then and you can add new answers.
So
Yeah,
wait,
it's
so
kinda neat.
If that's can we do an experiment? Can we find one that has been asked and answered in the comments?
Let's go to the home page,
Recent questions?
recent questions, and
That has been answered.
yeah, I'm looking for ones that have answers. So you can add a new answer with that button. I saw some in the previous query about what is Nostr. So yeah, I'm just seeing a bunch of questions and no answers. So if I go back to the one that said, what is Nostr? This one had like 2 replies. So let's see. Somebody replied and said, I feel like Satoshi would cry if he knew how I store my NSEC. I can relate. A lot of mine are just stored in a Google Doc. So
I feel like if there was a way to tag the responses and have like a community vote, you could build like a pretty cool model for machine learning using this.
he said, I think you could make a pretty cool model for machine learning if you could like rank the answers. It does. It seems to have some sort of ranking because it says best answers and it has most zapped, and those are both ranking methods, or at least I don't know how they're calculating best answer, but that's cool that they're trying. You know, they're trying to make something like that. So good on ya. We had Swarmster. We had fun testing it out, right? I think we had fun. It was fun. Car's like, it was a little fun. Doesn't think it works, but it was definitely something. The Bitcoin rap from Waveman? It's probably over.
That's where the fun
It's kind of cool that it just plays music in the background. You know? Whatever. Okay, so that's that. We already talked about Primal, and so that's. And anyone have any? Well, does anyone have any thoughts on all these new clients that have come out? What's your favorite of all the things we've just seen? You like Zapstream? Okay.
Zapstream.
Zapstream's the best.
Stemster's cool too. I know a friend from Austin has been working on it, and it's definitely more than just a place to post your music.
Stemster?
Yeah.
What else is it?
It's a place to collaborate on music and make music and generate.
Place to post your stems.
Cool. Yeah, that's good to hear. I think my favorite is probably Amber. I really like the idea of protecting your private key, and Amber's trying to help with that. So that's nice.
social is at fiatjet.com.
He wrote a blog post about it on his website. I don't know why they didn't post it on the Zebedee website. So,
for the Zapstream, is it just the chat that's Nostr, or is the stream itself?
the stream is not hosted on Nostr. The video content's not like flying over WebSockets.
Yeah.
It's using WebRTC to get the video and share it, which is a pretty standard web thing. But you have to have some website to put the video on. YouTube is supported, so you can do a stream on YouTube and then pull it into Zapstream. But there's a bunch of, any live stream website supports the WebRTC standard, and then you can take whatever they give you and plug it into Zapstream. So it's pretty easy. Geyser adds Zaps. So this is cool. Geyser is a fundraising platform for Bitcoin, and they added Zap support, so now you can zap your favorite projects on Geyser. Breaking, we integrated Zaps. Yay! Let's take a look. So where's their website? Their website, geyser.fund. Yeah. This is the fundraising website. Has everyone got this? I don't think I need to keep this thing up anymore. The slugify.link for, I'm going to take that down. Okay, so there's a bunch of projects on here that you can now zap if you want to support that project. So let's say, I don't know, Orphans of Uganda. That looks like something we might want to do some fundraising for. And so you can contribute by clicking that and then donating some number of sats. But also, all of these now have a Nostr pub key that you can zap. So let's find that. Let's find the Nostr pub key for this event, for this project. Maybe? Entries, project. I'm not seeing how to do this. Does anyone know how to zap these things?
Lightning address, maybe that's not it.
Where'd you see a lightning address?
Go back to the.
I forget how I got there.
Profile. Scroll down.
Orphans of Uganda.
Yeah. And it's right under Orphans of Uganda.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is how you can. Well, that wouldn't let you zap it though.
Click on contribute.
Just the address.
Does it like pop up the
Maybe it's something the project needs to add support for. Like if the project runs their own Nostr profile, then they have to link it.
Or maybe they have like one npub that you have to zap, and then in your zap comment you say what project it's for. They could do that as well. I'm not sure. I don't really want to read the whole thing to figure it out, but they have a little article on it, and so you can look at that. But zaps are not mentioned in this article, so then there's an announcement. Maybe it's going to be in there. I don't know. There's some way to do it, supposedly, but in my opinion, you guys need to make it more. I would like to see an npub. If there was an npub, I could plug that into my client and then click the zap button. So that's what I would like to see as a way to zap these projects. But yeah, so however you guys are doing it, I would like that to be something I learn. The next one. So, kind of boo to this one. I didn't really like it because I couldn't figure it out. The next one on our list software improvements is Magic Web Store. This is mine. I made Magic Web Store. And I added authentication using key delegation. Yeah, remember I told you we'd talk about that. So I added authentication for that. And then I also added notifications. So if you have an authenticated Magic Web Store, you get notified whenever you get a sale. So this little GIF here I made shows what it looks like. But let's just skip the GIF, and I'll show you an example from Car's Magic Web Store. This Magic Web Store is where we are selling the NostrDev course. It's one of the places where you can buy it. And when you click this little thing up here, he has authenticated. Car has authenticated his store with his Nostr account right there. And so it shows you that. So one thing I didn't want to do, though, I didn't want to do it the way that every other Nostr app does it, where like what I could have had him do is sign in with Nostr and then like move his store to be, created by his Nostr account. But I didn't want to do that because that either means you have to install the extension or a remote signing device or paste in your private key to my website. And I don't like that. I don't want to know your private key, and I don't want to make you install a bunch of stuff. So what I did is I do it through DMs, and I will show you this to you. If you go to a Magic Web Store and you create a new store, I will just show you how to authenticate it real quick. Copy that, log in with it. Okay, so we have a store now. This is our little Magic Web Store. Let's give it a name. We'll call it Test Store. Create a product, test product. Let's find a test image. That one will work. Not that. That one. Open the image. Copy that. That'll be our image. This is a test product. Give it a shipping zone. It'll cost $1. That's what our product will look like. Sweet. Okay, so we've just created a store. And when we do, we get this little Connect Nostr button up in the top right corner. And when you click it, it's like, hey, you can do this. You can do this whole thing without pasting your private key anywhere. So it just needs to know your public key. So I'm going to go over to Iris, which is one of the clients I use, and get my public key, which they call a user ID. And X out of those. So it wants to know that, and then it wants to know one of the relays you use. So for that, I'm just going to go to network, and what's one of these relays? We'll do this one. I use that relay. Okay. So now it's going to load my profile, and so it's searching the Nostr network for my profile, and hopefully it will find it. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do. Why is it not working? Oh no. It should have found it by now. X and then refresh. Connect Nostr. There's the thing. Here's my profile.
And if you go to your store, so hit X and go to your store, like to view your store, it shows up there.
Well, no, because I haven't authenticated yet. Well, I was going to show this to you, but apparently I've got some bugs to fix because it is trying to find my profile and is not able to find it. Nos.lol. You think I should use Damus? Okay, let me try it with Damus. Network. This one. It does say try using a different relay if it doesn't work right away. So, we are showing you growing pains, I suppose, of Nostr.
They have like a pool option.
Oh, of course it can't find it. I haven't No, that wouldn't be right. I have published a... I was about to say I haven't published a profile, and so it wouldn't be able to find it, but I have published a profile. There it is. That's my username and picture and all that stuff. Oh, it found it. Great, you were right. Damus was the way. Damus figured it out. We found your profile, so now it wants me to make sure that my client is connected to one of these relays, Nostr or Nostr.NoOnes. So let me go check if it is in the network. I am not connected to Nostr, but I will add that. So now I'm connected to Nostr. There you go. So I'm connected. And then it wants me to copy this npub into my regular client and prepare to send it a direct message. So just do that. This is my store's npub. My store has a little npub that it's created. So I'm going to message it. And it says, please reply with your proof of ownership. So I will do that. I'm ready. Here's my proof of ownership. I copy that. I paste it in. Hit send. Check it out. Your store is now authenticated with your regular Nostr account. And if I go view my store, Super Testnet is the store owner. So notice, at no point did I have to touch my private key. I didn't have to connect to a remote signer. I didn't have to make them have an extension installed. I didn't have to ask them for their private key or generate one for them. I just used regular Nostr DMs to do all this. And I think that's the way. Key delegation will allow me to do things like revoke this in the future. If I don't want to be authenticated with this store anymore, I can just revoke that key and say that's not me anymore. And then that message will go away.
Why is it important to show the stats?
Well, I think people like to see stats about stores. So. Yeah, I also added support for stats, so you can see like how many purchases a store have been made out of a store and if they're active. And that's nice to know. If you're going to shop somewhere, you'd like to know that they're actually like checking it and stuff. What's up?
Let's say I do buy that product. What happens next?
Well, it'll DM me. So if I add this to my cart down here and say, I want you to send me this picture of a test to my email, which is test@example.com, I can check out. Let me get rid of that thing. I can check out and pay them on Lightning or the base layer. And then if I paid this, it would DM, Super Testnet on Nostr and say, you got a sale, go check your store. And then they could verify the sale and then ship me the product.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, that's what I added, support for sale notifications over Nostr, as well as statistics about your store, and you can verify your ownership of a store. So. Yeah, the GitHub is supertestnet/superstore. I originally called this project Superstore, and then I changed it to Magic Web Store. So this is the GitHub where you can read all the code and integrate key delegation for your own app. If you're a Nostr developer, it's all right in this index.html file. But I recommend using key delegation. I think that's better than protecting your private key by just putting it in Alby or something. Not even asking for a private key or not making people install a particular thing is, in my opinion, the way to go. Or the way I decided to go. And you should check it out if you want to learn more.
So was the npub for your store derived from your profiles? Is that a delegation? Or?
No, it just creates one. The store just creates a new identity for you.
Cryptographic proof that is attached to every event that the store sends out.
Should you even be concerned with, or where do you keep the private key for the store?
Well, that's the nice thing with the key delegation. You don't really need to care where you keep the private key for the store. So I just have it in a Google Doc. That's honestly where I keep it. And yeah, Satoshi would cry if he knew. But if it ever gets compromised, if I lose that private key or my Google account gets hacked or whatever, I can just revoke that key and say that's not me anymore. And here's my new store where I take better security precautions. But it doesn't affect my real Nostr private key because of delegation. Like they never get to see that, which is why I think it's really neat.
Explain the delegation, sorry. Is it delegated from your Super Testnet profile?
Yeah, my regular Super Testnet profile says this store is the key of this store is also me. Like I delegate it to create events on my behalf.
Okay.
Yeah. So, there we go. And then people can just see anything that I post in my store is also, a post by Super Testnet.
Follow-up question with how you're doing the delegation. Are you like following the spec? Or are you just essentially creating a proof?
I just created a proof. I made my own spec because I didn't like the NIP57 key delegation spec.
Who does? 26?
Yeah, 26, sorry. So I made my own, but yeah. Key delegation is cool. So that's what I wanted to show you is Magic Web Store added auth and notifications. So that's cool. If you have a web store, now you'll get notifications when you get sales if you authenticate it. Which didn't take that long. It took like one retry and probably 3 minutes total. Never. Dark mode sucks. So then we've got Stacker News. Stacker News is the best Nostr client that's not a Nostr client yet. Stacker News has added Nostr login and Zap metadata. So they're almost a Nostr client. I think he said to me personally, privately, something that I shouldn't share publicly. So I won't. But it's good news and you should be excited. In the meantime, he added Nostr login and Nostr auth. So you can log, if I go to Stacker News, I'm going to do this in Brave where I have the Albi extension. So if I go here, I can click login and it lets me log in with Nostr now. Check that out. So I just click that. Albi opens up. Oops. Do you want to log in? Sure. Confirm. Now I'm logged in. I have a new account through this. So that's pretty neat. You can log in with Nostr on Stacker News now. And if I got zapped, or if somebody zapped my Stacker News account, it would show like this was a Nostr zap. Here's who sent it to you. Here's a comment they left in your little notifications tray up here, which of course mine's empty because I just created this account. But
so if you could go log in with this pub key onto another Nostr client and make a post, and then if someone zaps you, you'll get it in your Stacker News notifications as well. Like a Stacker.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Okay.
I bet it's only if they zap your, whatever my username is at stacker.news.
Okay.
If they zapped that, then the metadata would show up in this notifications tray. What's up?
So, does that mean that a Stacker News post is also a Nostr post somewhere? How else would they be able to zap?
I have private information about that I am not yet authorized to share. So I will not say anything further. Okay, the next thing. Keon's gonna be so mad, but whatever. The next thing is Snort. Snort is added support for remote signing using the NSEC bunker, which is another Android app that lets you do the thing I showed you earlier. So we have options, which I like. They use this connection string thing, so you can plug this into your NSEC bunker and your pub key as well as what relays you use, and stuff is supposed to happen. I don't know. I haven't tried it. Has anyone tried NSEC bunker? No. But it's a thing, and if you check out the GitHub repo for Snort, you can see the code for how he did that and learn more. I would want to try this, but I don't really use Snort. I don't even think my info is on there. I wonder where the NSEC bunker is. That's probably on GitHub too. GitHub. Let's just search for the NSEC bunker and see how that works. No repo is called that.
You're better off using Google and just throw GitHub as a keyword.
NSEC bunker D? That sounds about right. And they have a website too, nsecbunker.com. Maybe the website will tell us how it works. Secure your Nostr keys, keep your Nostr keys in a single place, and provide fine-grained access to your team members. It's a pretty standard way to protect your private key. So that's good. And then client-side encrypted key with permission revocation. That's all good. On to Trails, signing policies. Is it an app or, oh, you have to purchase it or build one. So how much does it cost, I wonder? Is it like a device? Is it a remote signing device? It says you deploy it, so it sounds like a cloud service.
I'm willing to bet it's a Node app.
We'll guide you through the process. We'll find out in a second. Enter the npub of somebody. Okay, and we'll give you my npub. Next. How many different people? Just one. And then it wants you to pay. So yeah, it's some kind of cloud service, probably a Node app. Actually, we can check if it's a Node app, can't we?
It's written in TypeScript.
Yeah, TypeScript and JavaScript. So it's probably a Node app. And then they just deploy it, and you can put your private key there. And then when stuff wants to sign, you can pass it the events, and it'll do it, which is neat. Good stuff. I like that kind of thing. I don't like the idea of putting your private key on a server, but I guess that's all I do anyway. So, so yeah, that's the thing. You can do that. Check it out. Learn about the API and stuff for it. And where are we at? Any questions about, oh, we have one more thing before I ask questions. Umbrel Relay improves syncing. Umbrel is, of course, a Bitcoin node that you can download. And it's got support for a bunch of stuff, including a Nostr relay that you can download and run. And that's what it looks like. It tells you about stuff you've done, stuff you're on your relay, all that stuff. But they added syncing now so that whenever you post an event to your own relay, it will also cross-post it to a bunch of other public ones, which is nice. So you can just like use your own node as a backup for your Nostr stuff. Oh, we have questions in the Zap stream? Can I go see those somehow? Zap.stream. I will click our thing and make sure I'm on mute so we don't get infinite feedback. Ad is hilarious. Is this the guy who wants more of those zaps? Yes, that's him. He's the guy who was scratching himself. One. Zap messages not showing in chat again. Sorry, Sam. Zap receipt was published but doesn't now show here in the comments. I think that's a Zap stream issue, not our issue. Wondering if this live stream is peer-to-peer. It's not. Is there a chat in Zap stream? Yes. You're clearly chatting in it. It's a weird question. Are you chatting for someone? Okay, they're just talking to each other. Who's talking now? It's probably me. I'm super. Okay, I don't see any really legit questions.
On these chats.
Can someone at PlebLab ask Stacker News to add support for tag zaps?
I'm on Amethyst and I can see timestamps.
Hi everybody, good to see you. Hi Sam, I'm a big fan of your work. And Sahil, yeah. Okay, so that's that. And Umbrel added support for this, and that's the last thing under that section. So of software improvements. Any questions about any of this software stuff, or comments, or stuff? Anything? Three more things to go through, but we don't have enough time. So y'all can just check out the bounties that came out. We were going to show you some of the client that's trying to go for one of the bounties that me and mostly he wrote.
Yeah, show it off.
It's too late. We were out of time. We only have 2 minutes left. So.
Do you want to?
I can do it in 2 minutes.
Relay in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
All right.
You guys should all be making relays now. It's stupid easy.
Oh, I know what you're.
Nostr1.com is a service from Nostr21.com, which is one of the most popular paid relay or free relays. And they have this service now where you can easily create your own relays in the cloud. It's not ideal for it to be in the cloud, but I think it's a good way to bootstrap, where maybe you have an idea for a relay, but you just want to test it out. You don't know if it's really going to find its niche, but maybe it does. And then you can migrate it off of Nostr 1 onto your own hosting. All right. So it uses NIP7 to sign in, and I'll probably need that one more time because I didn't tell it to save the authorization. But anyway, you can just go here and create a relay. Let's do super testnet, unless anyone has any other ideas. We could make a PlebLab relay. What do y'all think? Maybe super testnet? All right, so super testnet. And there's a slight bit of Sybil resistance here, a 21,000 sat, which is there a way I can pay it with my, okay, there it is. All right, so I think they might have raised it. Yeah, I think when I got mine, it was 10 sats, just to, kind of get the idea out there. But now I think he's charging a reasonable hosting fee. So I'll pay this with, I don't have enough balance. Okay, let me switch my, I know. These are real life problems here. I zapped away all my sats. Okay, let me try another wallet I have set up in Albi. I'm switching over to my own Lightning node, so. All right. Now it's trying to pay this invoice. Zeus is kind of acting all weird right now. It's switching back and forth between different screens. It's being really glitchy.
Everyone see who can pay it first.
This is the way, folks. If Nostr is going to work the way it's intended, then there needs to be more people running relays. And this is really the easiest way to get started. And now we have a relay. It was really that simple. You can literally create a relay in 30 seconds. And one nice thing that Nostr 1 provides with this service is easy to use tools to customize your relay. You can have moderators, and the power of a moderator is that any event they report will be deleted from the relay. You can set it up on a blacklist or a whitelist system. You can have allowed keywords or blocked keywords. So you can also you can browse other relays that people have created on here. So if I go to public relays, I'll see all the ones that are public, and the one I just created, I can make that public. And usually you probably want it public. So relay is not listed in the public directory. That's just a toggle. So now it is. If I go back here, there it is, top of the list, super testnet relay. There's, or that's my relays. Here, public relays. Let's see. Maybe there's a delay. Maybe there's a slight delay. But I can show you the Christ pill relay is one that I made. So for everyone who's taken the orange pill and the purple pill, consider taking the Christ pill. This is a relay that I set up on a customized basis where it's only specific keywords get in. So it's basically a white list of keywords, because one thing you want to think about if you're trying to have a niche relay is what's going to make someone want to use your relay, and what's going to make it special where they're going to see something that they're not just going to see anywhere else. So my idea was this is a whitelist keyword relay. So if anyone just wants to tune into that relay's feed, and I can do that in the Open Relay Explorer, it's only showing Christian material because of the whitelist of words that I made. So it provides a useful service for someone who might not want to see all Nostr content at all times and maybe just wants to tune into this specific feed. And there are plenty of other reasons to run your own relay. You have your backup. You can potentially have a community that forms around a relay, and maybe that community will even branch off and fork off and create their own relays in the future. But I think it's definitely something that more people should start doing because it helps make Nostr more decentralized.
That concludes NostrDevs number 6. Thank you all for coming and attending, and we'll certainly be around here afterwards for any socializing, comments, discussions, and stuff like that, or dev help. So have a great